So week 9 is here, and this is 5 wide receivers I don't want to play here in week 9. And the first guy I'm going to bench is Amari Cooper of the Dallas Cowboys. Cooper, the last 2 games, he's been mediocre, and this week, who the hell knows is going to be quarterback? It's not going to be Ben DiNucci. So now they're going to go to either Cooper Rush or Garrett Gilbert. And Cooper last week, he had 5 targets. He only caught 1 for a couple yards. So Cooper, I don't know if you could trust anyone on this Cowboy offense. Last week he had 5 yards on 5 targets, and I could see the same thing happening versus an even better defense in the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Cooper, he was having some monster games. He was a top 3 fantasy option with Dak Prescott at quarterback, but Dak's not coming back this season, and it's going to be more of mediocre ball games for Cooper. So the next guy I'm benching is Antonio Brown. All the buzz about Antonio Brown coming back to the NFL and reuniting with Tom Brady, who he only played 1 game with last year before the Patriots cut him. But Brown here, the lights are going to be on Sunday Night Football for Brown. He's been training. He's in great shape, supposedly. Bruce Arians and the Bucs have said, but it's his first game back since week 3 of last season. I don't know what we're going to see from Brown. I know he was a top receiver in this league for many years, but now he's been out. He's a year older. Who knows if he's got the stamina, and who knows if he could take a hit. If you're out of the league a year or 2, it takes a while for you to get back into things. We saw with his teammate Rob Gronkowski, who it took him 6 weeks to get back in it, and absorbing those hits again and stuff is not going to be easy. And Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Gronk, Scotty Miller, a bunch of guys over there, so everyone's going to have to eat one way or the other and take a hit on their fantasy value. So this week, I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach with Antonio Brown. I do have him in 1 league, but I'm not going to start him. So for this week, I bench him, and if he has a good game, then next week I'll put him in versus Carolina. But for this week, I'm benching Brown. The third receiver I'm benching is DJ Chark of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He just hasn't had a good season at all. Many of you guys drafted him early in your fantasy drafts, 5th or 6th round, and now Gardner Minshew, he's out of the lineup. He's hurt with a thumb injury, and now the Jaguars are going to go with the 6th round rookie Jake Luton, and I don't know what he's going to do, honestly, with Chark. Chark, he's got a decent matchup versus the Houston Texans, but in week 5, he had a dud ball game versus the Texans with only 3 catches for 16 yards. Maybe Chark, he wasn't fully healed from the ankle injury, and now coming off a bye week and a new quarterback, Chark will get going and be motivated. But this week, I just don't see it happening with the rookie quarterback, Jake Luton, and Chark not producing with Minshew. So Chark, I'm benching him this week. Next receiver is DeVante Parker of the Miami Dolphins. And Parker, last week I said to bench him, and this week I'm saying it again. And my claims weren't wrong, really. He had 1 catch for 3 yards and a touchdown on 2 targets. Like I said, this whole offense is going to take a major hit with Tua Tagovailoa as the quarterback in that backfield. They're going to run the ball more. They're not going to throw deep passes like they did with Fitzpatrick, just tossing that ball all over the yard. And with Tua, it's going to be more conservative. And Parker, he's a deep ball threat and a great route runner, but I just don't see it. And in this week versus a good Arizona defense and secondary, with Patrick Peterson most likely being on Parker, I don't see Parker doing much. DK Metcalf couldn't do anything on Peterson. So Parker, I don't think definitely is. You could go out there and definitely bench Parker this week. And the 5th and final receiver I'm benching this week is a guy in Malcolm Brown, Antonio Brown's cousin, Hollywood Brown. He was a guy I had high hopes for last week, and he disappointed as well. He only had a 3-yard catch for a touchdown as Brown. He came out on Instagram after the game, and he was frustrated that he's not getting the ball in this Baltimore offense. And to be honest, I would be too. And Brown, he's only had 2 good games here and there this year. So Brown, he's not getting the targets. In his last 3 games now, he's only had 15 targets, and that's not that good. So Brown, he had the touchdown. He's got Indianapolis this week. He's not happy with his role. They're going to keep running. I think Jackson's going to start running more for this Baltimore team. He's been struggling. He's not putting up numbers like he did last year. And once again, I could see a dud performance for Hollywood Brown The Indianapolis Colts, middle of the pack, versus points given up to fantasy receivers. And this week, I could see another dud performance for Brown. So if you don't have to play him, I wouldn't play him. I just can't trust this guy. He's too inconsistent. So that's 5 wide receivers I'm benching going into week 9.